Good morning and welcome to Sunday's Early Morning Intuitive Guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum. I'm here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well and to reiterate something we've been working on for 21 days now. Actually, today is day 22. Good morning, Abigail. Glad you are here. Welcome. So we're going to give it a minute for everybody to pop on because apparently I need to clear up some misunderstandings. So we can do that. But let us start. Good morning to whomever else has popped on. Glad you're here. Let us start with some tapping. Good morning, Carolyn. Welcome, welcome. Tapping in some breath. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Trusting in divine right timing and order. Good morning, Ruth Ann. Welcome. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Letting your shoulders drop. Going, why is everything so messed up today? In through the nose, out through the mouth. Divine right timing, divine right order. Things are a little cattywampus, shall we say. So, the first thing I want to clear up, and hopefully everybody remembered to change their clocks, is that one of the reasons we had decided book club was going to start next Sunday was to avoid the time change and the potential mess it might create. Thank you for the sunshine. I appreciate that. So book club does not start today. It starts next Sunday. So I know for at least two of you, your church service got the time changed. And good morning, Joniel. Glad you're here. Welcome. Your church service got changed, and so it's messing up the book club time. So we'll see what we need to do. I may send an email out today because I thought a week ago someone had mentioned, good morning, Barb, glad you're here, welcome. Someone had mentioned book club being today, and I sent a message back saying, nope, it's not going to be the first Sunday of the month, it's going to be the second Sunday of the month. And good morning, Gwen, good morning. So I'm just trying to clear up the miscommunication about book club. So it is not today. It is next Sunday. And again, I know that a couple of you have issues with the time not working. So what my plan will be is sometime this morning, I'll send out an email to all of those of you who have responded affirmatively that you want to participate in book club and see if we can gather some information about if changing the time from next Sunday, good morning, Beth, glad you're here, to a different time or day would work for everybody. So stay tuned, we'll get it figured out. I had someone else who sent me a message this morning, a messenger message, who often watches these, very disgruntled about her life at the moment, where divine right timing and divine right order do not seem to be serving her, but creating problems for her. So my initial comment back to her, and I haven't heard back yet, is what are the opportunities in these seeming difficulties? And it was multiple things. It was like 4 different things that were getting messed up because of an unexpected event. So I suggested that she look for the opportunities. What are the opportunities in here that this seemingly ill-timed, unexpected event offer? So then I had the thought, this is the first one we're doing post our 21 days of invoking divine right timing and divine right order, and led to Tosha Silver, letting the divine take the lead, and opened to a page, and it is the last page of the reading that got us started on our 21 days of invoking divine right timing and divine right order anyway. So here we are, back at the beginning, and there's 8 of you on here at the moment. 8 is my favorite number, infinity. Yep. So we're back to the beginning. Let us look at this through the lens of, now that we've gone through our 21 days, what else? What do we do with this next? What do we do with this next? And so I think all of the emails I've getting from people, the upset about divine right timing and divine right order, the difficulties with, is book club today or is it next week? All of that makes sense given this. So what I want to do is start at the end of this little part of what led us into our 21 days in the first place. And then I might or might not go back and read some of the beginning stuff. But the part I want to read is the last 2 paragraphs. And it begins, yeah, divine right, not always easy. No, and it does not always make sense. In fact, it doesn't often make sense to us as it's unfolding. After the fact, sometimes we are blessed with an understanding of why things went the way they went, and sometimes not even then. Doesn't mean it doesn't have value, doesn't mean it isn't unfolding in a way that higher order understanding gets, and we don't. So, here are the words. Let's take a breath. Let it go. And then open yourself to receiving this next layer. Let's call it a layer. This next layer of the divine right timing and divine right order work we've already been doing. Moving through the world, open to constant help, gets easier and easier with practice. Yes, some days it's much more subtle, some more dramatic. But why not try? You could practice this for a full 21 days to let your brainwaves reset into the new pattern of thinking. And anyway, if you're not happy with the results, you can always have your cold dog, eat dog, lonely galaxy back, no questions asked, full refund. People often act as if there's no divine assistance. Why not pretend that there is? Just going to let that reverberate for a moment. Why not pretend that there is? So, and I've had people sarcastically say to me, Bonnie, you believe in all this woo-woo stuff, and you've got a PhD in clinical psychology. You were raised in a scientist practitioner model. What's with all the woo-woo stuff? And my response for decades has been, dogs can hear things we can't hear. Why would we assume that our other senses are any different? That there are beings out there that can receive information that we are not attuned to receive at this point in time? Why would we assume that? I'll tell you why we assume that. Because we have fed ourselves a bill of goods over time that we're the top of the heap. We're the most advanced out of every creature walking the face of the earth. We have, we expect that other animals have human envy. I think other animals look at us sometimes and go, what is wrong with those humans? Here's what I think. Take it, leave it, doesn't matter. Up to you. There is much that we, with our human equipment, cannot perceive. We have current limitations on what our mind, body, spirit can take in. If we go back to the Bible, there's more than one mention of if you could experience the full force of God, you couldn't cope with it. It's too much for your little human biosystem to process. Hello, Abigail. I don't know if I said hi to you before or not. Glad you're here. So why would we assume that this is all there is? Why would we assume that? That is not a logical assumption. Okay? So interesting to me that all of the readings that I've been doing recently, for pleasure and for learning, are coalescing around the idea that we are up-leveling. I'm reading this amazing historical fiction book right now, and it's about the Celts. Good morning, Maureen. Glad that you are here. Oh, good. Yes. And I will tell you, there were periods of time in my life where I was not open to any possibilities. Why? Because as the world impinged upon me, as there were negative things, seemingly negative things, happening in my life, like when my marriage was falling apart, or when my kids were very little and I'm running a huge household, I've got a career, I own a business, I've got a second business, blah, blah, blah. When you're impinged upon, that's a harder time to step into faith and trust and open to all possibilities and all the stuff. One of the reasons we've done the 21 days of invoking divine right timing and divine right order is because right now, for many people, the world feels like it's impinging on them. I had someone say yesterday, every day I open up my phone knowing there's going to be at least one more bullshit thing that has happened. But, what if all of this is designed to crack us open? What if all of this is to make us better receivers of the light and better dispensers of the light? The light that goes through us and out to others. How much are we hearing? This is a time for people to come together. This is a time to bridge the divides. This is a time to experience what else is opening up within us. The one book that I read that was really wild, really out there, and I think is probably spot on, was talking about how our DNA, our double helix, way back prehistory, it was many strands of DNA. And that kind of got taken offline. And another book I'm reading now talks about the crystalline strands of DNA that are now winding themselves around our double helix. And that they're not perceived by current equipment, but they're there. And that people are noticing that things are coming online. And when new abilities come online, it takes time to adapt to them. And it can be pretty chaotic. So let me share a couple with you. We've all seen those videos of little kids who can't see, and then they slip the glasses on, and they're just like, wow, holy crap, what just happened here? We are in that holy crap, what just happened here phase for our ability to perceive. And I'm going to use the word perceive, not see, because it's beyond visual. There's a multiplicity of things that are coming online. My belief. Again, you get to believe whatever the heck you want to believe. But kind of going back to Tosha's last statement here, why not pretend that there is? So, I've got about 5 stories going here. So, people used to say to me, why would you believe X? And one of my responses was, because when I believe X, I feel good about me, I feel good about my world, I feel good about my interactions with other people. If I believed Y, like you do, all of that would be gone. Yeah, but what if you get to the end of your life and you realize that you duped yourself into believing X? At least I spent this lifetime feeling good. On the other hand, my person who believed Y spent this lifetime being miserable. Your choice. Your choice. So now, I think I've got, again, now 4 stories kind of floating around out in the abyss. Oh yes, the glasses one with the little kids. Another one that was very striking to me, I worked in a daycare out in Montana when I was in graduate school for little kids with different abilities. And there was a little girl there who had a trach. And she had never taken a breath of air through her mouth. When she was 4, they did a surgical repair, And when her mother said when she took her first breath, it totally freaked her out. That feeling of air coming up through our throats. We don't even think about it because we've done it since we came down the chute. She, on the other hand, had not done it. Yes, totally agree how I look at my life. Absolutely, yes. So the first couple of breaths just freaked her out, felt weird to her. I want us to look at what's happening in our world through that lens. This is uncharted territory in many ways. And what people are going to become aware of is they are able to do things that they previously couldn't do. It could be things like they have a sense of knowing that something's coming. It could be that they have the guidance to go this way, not that way. It could be that they get a sense of how someone else is feeling in a certain situation. All of these things, and there have always been people who could do all of those things, but now more of us. It's like a tipping point thing. More of us are coming online with these abilities, and some people, because they don't understand what this is about, think they're going nuts. I can't tell you the number of clients I've had, even though we've talked about a lot of this stuff, who've said, now, you're going to think I'm crazy, but absolutely not. I don't think you're crazy. I think you're opening up to the gifts that are now becoming available to you. So, going back to the beginning of this chapter, which if you want to go back and reread it, if you have outrageous openness, letting the divine take the lead, and you want to go back to it, or you want to buy it, it's page 29. The chapter's called Shopping with God. But the quote, Rob Bresny, Brzsny, pronoia. Pronoia is the suspicion that the whole world is conspiring to shower you with blessings. The whole world is conspiring to shower you with blessings. If you believe that, how would you go about your world differently? It's going to make a huge difference, isn't it? If you're one of the people who's caught in the world is a dangerous place, I better not engage with it, shifting to, I have a suspicion that the whole world is conspiring to shower me with blessings. Imagine if everybody believed that. Imagine if enough people believe that. And again, there's that, I was just reading this again yesterday. Robert Reich. Good morning, Mel. Glad you're here. Welcome. And we're up to 12 people. Hello to some of you I missed saying hi to. Your name probably didn't roll. But glad you're here. Glad you're here. If you do Substack, look up Robert Reich, R-E-I-C-H. Sometimes he shows up on Facebook as well. I think he's on YouTube. But he's talking about, let me think now. What was he talking about? Again, I've got a bazillion stories going. Because I get excited about this stuff. Because there is opportunity in the difficulties. I have had that quote on my desk for years. Pessimists see difficulty in every opportunity. Optimists see opportunity in every difficulty. Which one do we choose to be? Which one do we choose to be? Okay? So, here's the good prayer. Today the divine will show me the way. I'm open to all messages, signs, and omens. I'll move as if there's a force of love waiting to aid me in every area of my life, big or small. When we move with that, I know what Robert Reich said. See, I can circle back around. I can figure this stuff out. A 3.5% rule. When 3.5% of a population begin a movement, start a movement, do something, believe something, that's enough for a tipping point. That's enough for a tipping point. He was saying that, yes, miracles in the mess, absolutely. And we've been taught not to embrace the chaos. We've been taught, aim for tidy, clean up your desk, blah, blah, blah. What if we say we're going to allow the chaos? Because we know in our heart of hearts, in our heart and soul, we know that out of chaos will come the order. And the order will run for a while, and then there will be other little pockets of chaos as things continue to change. We are a never-ending change organism. Notice I did not put an S at the end of that. The one. The one. We are all one. We perceive ourselves as separate, but we are all one. Think about that. I wonder if the cells in our bodies perceive themselves as separate. They're part of the one. We're part of the one. The one is probably part of the one. So, what will you do with this information? What will you do with this divine right timing and divine right order today? For me, I want to do a breath work because I feel like there's something just lingering. Oh, and yesterday was amazing. I talked to somebody, and an opportunity that wasn't even on the radar screen, it's not being launched yet, but wasn't even on the radar screen, is now suddenly on the radar screen. So again, when we try to make decisions based on what we're aware of, they are by definition limited decisions, because there's so much more about which we are not aware. And sometimes, if we don't rush a decision, if we bide our time, like this particular circumstance, all of a sudden something pops up that is going to make a huge difference in that decision-making process. So to tell ourselves, I believe in divine right timing and divine right order. I am willing to listen within to my guidance on what steps to take, what's the next best step, on what little whisper in my ear I need to heed. I'm willing to follow the guidance, the breadcrumbs through the forest. I'm willing to be humble. I again watched the Edgar Cayce archive thing, and it blew me away again. I know I sent some of you the link. If any of you are interested in it, why don't you send me Edgar Cayce? Just send his name. It's Cayce. And send it to my email, Bonnie@empowermentandpurpose.com. Bonnie@empowermentandpurpose.com, and I will send it to you. It's 26 minutes long, and it's one of those mind stretches. And it's a cautionary note for all of us. I took notes the second time, and I had, I think, 6 pages of notes. It's a cautionary tale, and good for all of us to be paying attention to it. Because at the end of it, he basically says, the voice that's reading from the archives says, all along, this wasn't about X, it's about you. Oh, yeah, guess so. So, just to frame it up a little bit, it's about the current administration and how it's just a representation of the collective as a whole. And you may say, I'm not here. We need to be willing to take a look at anything that bugs us in the world. We need to, and we're pointing a finger, we need to be willing to take a look at the fingers that are pointing back at us. How is this reflected in me? I'm saying I hate this. I have no truck with this, blah, blah. But how is this a reflection of me? So if you're interested in getting that little video, just send it to Bonnie@empowermentandpurpose.com, and I'll send it out to you because it was so fascinating. Anywho, that's it for today. Lots of things to think about. Those of you who are hoping we had book club today, it will be next week. I'll send out an email though, and let's see what the yes, there we go. Perfect steps are already picked, and I'm guided to them. Yes, yes, yes. So, okay, I feel like I'm going to run through the 4 of them again for all of us. Focus, focus, focus. Pick your favorite. Today the divine will show me the way. I'm open to all signs and messages. The perfect steps are already picked, and I am guided to them. Moving through the world open to constant help gets easier and easier with practice. Have an awesome Sunday. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.